All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Saturday, September 4th, 2021. College football kicking off. NFL starts next weekend, and like clockwork, we have the football related deaths piling in. In the case of David Patten, he made the headlines yesterday. The receiver who caught Tom Brady's only touchdown pass in his first Super Bowl. David Patten dead at age 47. And he died reportedly on September 2nd, the same day that the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Keith McCants, who played at Alabama in college, also died. You get these two NFL-related deaths on September 2nd. 2/9 like 29, and in Gematria football equals 29. Once you see the ritual of both of these men's deaths and how they perfectly connect to each other through the same numbers. So, David Patten has reportedly died in a motorcycle crash, and he's dead at age 47, and they mention how he won the Super Bowl 3 times with Brady. Remember, 47 is a special number. The first ever Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. The 66-67 season was the 47th season of the NFL. The reason why is the same reason this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. The word foundation in Gematria equals 47. And the Masons, who American football is credited to, their compass, the Scottish Rite of France, set the compass at 47 degrees in tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation for a structure. So, the other thing about 47 is Tom Brady. He's now playing in Tampa Bay, which has Gematria 47. And Tampa alone equals 15, and 47's the 15th prime, and David Patten died on his 15th day of being 47 years old. Now, with regards to him having won 3 Super Bowls with Brady, when you write out 3 as a word, it equals 56. And his death comes right before the NFL season that will conclude with Super Bowl 56. And as for him dying in a motorcycle crash, again, if you're new here, when we first began this study in 2013, all I ever presented were these 2 ciphers, where football is 83 with the alphabetic order, like Tom Brady's birthday is 8-3, and Peyton Manning, back when I started, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were the faces of the league. Peyton Manning born on the 83rd day of the year, Tom Brady born on 8-3. Peyton Manning ended up playing for the Broncos under John Elway, who was part of the 83 draft class, which they say was the best draft class ever for quarterbacks. But when you use the alphabetic order and rules numerology, football's 29, right? So we're talking about the death of 2 football players on September 2nd, 2/9, 1 week before the first game on Thursday, which will be Tampa Bay hosting the defending Super Bowl champions. And again, with regards to 83, Tom Brady right now, he's sitting on 83 career touchdowns in the postseason and 38 interceptions. Florida's 38. The Super Bowl was on the 38th day of the year. We predicted that would be the case for Tom Brady before the game was even played. No picks and at least 3 touchdowns to get him to 83. So, with regards to the motorcycle crash, I wouldn't have saw this in 2013 when I began. I wouldn't have saw that motorcycle crash had an 83 connection, but at the end of 2016, I realized that the other half of the code was just running the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology. And when you run it in reverse with numerology, motorcycle crash is 83, right? So we have this football player death on the perfect day, 1 week before the start of the season. It's obvious. That's why we learned that reverse was obviously the other half of the code. Just everything ties in perfectly. And both of these deaths came on Brady's 32nd day of his age. NFL's 32, America's 32, 32 teams in the NFL, America's game. Patten, again, he died on his 15th day of his age. You could also say he died 14 days after his birthday. Dead is 14, right? And football is also 43, the 14th prime. Remember, American football credited to Walter Camp, who went to Yale. Yale's 43. Florida's 43, like Brady went down to Florida at age 43 and won the Super Bowl, the football championship. And don't forget, it all began for Brady in the time of George W. Bush, number 43, whose dad was the 43rd vice president, whose brother Jeb Bush was the 43rd governor of Florida. If you remember, Bush became president because of Florida. First, they called the election for Gore, and then they said, wait a minute, something's going on in Florida, and then they changed the results in Florida, and they said Bush won, where his brother was the 43rd governor, so he could become number 43, and then next thing you know, you had 9/11 and the Patriot Act, and then all of a sudden the Patriots, which always sucked in the NFL, all of a sudden were the best team in the NFL, in clear, rigged mockery by the same numerical code. So anyhow, David Patten, dead at 47 on a specific day for football, specifically synced up with his birthday, which is why he's probably the chosen victim for this ritual. And then the other thing that's sad about David Patten is his name gematria. He had fateful name gematria. David Patten, you see the 4464. We'll talk about the 116 as well, but the 4464, always fateful numbers. Kill is 4464. And Tom Brady just turned 44 August 3rd, last month. So David Patten goes down at 44. Remember, you just had the Lightning in back-to-back years with 44 rituals winning the Stanley Cup, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And last year, the year that Brady went down to Florida, was the year of the 116th World Series. Tampa made the Stanley Cup, the World Series, and the Super Bowl. Tampa, Florida won 16. David Patten won 16. I always tell you, outside of these four base ciphers, the other cipher you got to know is Jewish gematria. And Keith McCants, who died on the same day, he's from Mobile, Alabama, Jesuit town. Mobile's got the 116, right? In that same cipher, Alabama is 56 in Jewish. And notice again, Mobile, just using the alphabetic order, is 56. So think about it. When you write out 3, it's 56, right? You got David Patten dead the same day as Keith McCants, who won 3 Super Bowls with Brady. You got Keith McCants dead, who's from Mobile, Alabama, on the same day, who played for Tampa. And this is right before the season of Super Bowl 56, right? Right before it gets underway. So, and again, Tampa Bay. Let me get rid of Jewish gematria. I'm not going to use anymore. But Tampa Bay, 47, right? David Patten dead at 47. Tampa alone, 15. 47, the 15th prime, dead on his 15th day being 47, supposedly in a motorcycle crash. And again, that's what I'm saying, you guys. The Jesuits, they control your government. They control your sports leagues. They control your police force, your nightly news. That's why they can always report things the way they want them to be reported. You think this guy really died in a motorcycle crash? Of course not. Murdered, and then you get your corrupt Jesuit cop to write your false cause of death. And then, you get your Jesuit-controlled news to not investigate anything and just report the bullshit the way they want you to know it. And then, you got your rigged football games, and then they'll sync up the score in tribute to the rigged murder ritual. What they do year in, year out, which we're here documenting every year. It's the same thing, clockwork, as these seasons begin. All these suspicious deaths, these coincidental deaths. Remember how many people died last year connected to Tampa for the Super Bowl? Same stuff that goes on every year. Adding insult to injury, David Patten wore number 86, right? Fateful number to wear. Blood sacrifice, 86. Human sacrifice, 86, right? David Patten, number 86. Keith McCants wore 52 for Tampa Bay. Super Bowl 56 will be the 52nd Super Bowl of the modern era. And, again, just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. I didn't even decode that part, but Columbia, the Dove, the Catholic Church, the Jesuits. Columbia's 31 in the most pure cipher, like the 11th prime. The death was 31 days after Brady's birthday, or his 32nd day of his age, where NFL and America are 32. Columbia 31, South Carolina. I don't know if I see the ritual with those numbers right now, but I see the Columbia 31 thing. 11th prime, football, a game of 11 on 11. Columbia's got the 78 like Jesuit. Okay. But just again, why these people are chosen. The man from Mobile, David Patten, same day, 1 week before the NFL season begins in Tampa, Florida. And by the way, the Jesuit motto ad Marum de Gloriam is 116. But then Keith McCants, dead at 53 on this, from his birthday, April 19th, to his death, September 2nd, span of 137 days, Tampa Bay 137, dead at 53, always teaching about 53 in football. And again, what's so weird about this death is before this news broke, I literally did a live stream for new people with football and the coding, and I talked about Mobile, the Jesuit town, and what's been going on there, and 53 in football, and the next thing you know, you got Keith McCants dead at 53 from Mobile. But again, Tampa, Florida in the most pure 53, like Vesica Pisces, which is the shape of the football in sacred geometry. That's why you got the 53-man roster in the NFL, the 53 and a third yard wide field. Tom Brady in Super Bowl 53, Patriots 53, Los Angeles 53. The 16th prime, 16 points scored, GOAT 16. He tied Jordan, the GOAT, with 6 championships in that one. The same day that Keith McCants died at 53, you had the Bucs team supposedly become the first team to be 100% vaccinated, right? To COVID-19. COVID's got the 53. If you write out COVID-19, it's also 92, like how the date was September 2nd. Remember, the first team that was fully vaccinated, they're saying the Bucs are the second team. The first team was Atlanta, where the CDC is. The very Catholic Jesuit CDC. But notice if you write out coronavirus, again, it's 56, and COVID vaccine is 56. In the NHL, you just had the shortened coronavirus season, 56 games. The team with the 56 connection, the Canadians, made it to the Stanley Cup, lost to Tampa. But now you got these rituals piling in the year before Super Bowl 56 begins. And again, I mean, you got to be just like the most hardcore coincidence theorist to really just like turn a blind eye to all this stuff. I mean, even without the gematria, you could be like, man, players really do seem to just drop dead right as these seasons begin, as the playoffs roll around, as the Super Bowl comes. Just all these coincidental tragedies. But then you learn gematria and you're like, wait a minute, looks like these people are being chosen, like their number was up. Like, where did that phrase come from anyway? Your number's up. So, don't ever forget the numerology lesson they gave on SNF a couple seasons ago about 12, as Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers were playing each other. And like we said, well, only one of their names equals 12, and that's Tom. And sure enough, he won that game. Also, the college football championship this year, it'll be on January 7th. And from Keith McCants' death, who played at Alabama, to January 7th is 127 days. That's the 31st prime number. Alabama's 31. So remember last year Saban got the virus 89 days before the championship on January 11th. We said that day Saban would win the championship, as he did. But 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. Football's a game of 11s. On January 11th, Saban wins it. Saban's got quite the ritual today as well. Pick up his 171st career win, the 18th triangular number, and the 18-date numerology in the 18th match between Alabama and Miami. So, anyway, really wish people would wake up to the sick rituals that go on. You know, this news just broke yesterday. I haven't even looked at this. I just caught wind of this right before I jumped on here. But, you know, a Georgia prep football player supposedly crushed in an elevator. And, you know, Georgia's 44 land. Georgia's 44 like Kill is 44. And then elevator has the connection to 118 like death and homicide. Remember Prince? We predicted Prince's death before it happened, and we said it would be all about 67 and 118. He ended up dying 67 days from his girlfriend Vanity in an elevator. And here, I haven't even looked at this story. I just caught wind of this. Somebody just messaged me about this before I went live. So again, Georgia's playing today. Big game against Clemson on an 18 date numerology. You got an 18-year-old Jamarcus McFarland at Champion Prep Academy, second chance program for high school graduates. Let's see. He was in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so it's for people who need a second chance. McFarland was heading to practice with teammates leaving the 444 suites. So you just right away, you guys. Sumerian gematria, that's just where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. So, like, you think of 444, you think of Jay-Z's album, The Rapper, from Rockefeller Records, Rockefellers, Jesuits. But Rapper's got the 74. When you multiply the alphabetic order times 6, it's 444, right? So words like, killing go from 74 to 444. So he's at the 444 suites in Georgia, and Georgia's 44, right? And kills 44. And the number 4 is associated with death because in Japanese and in Chinese, you pronounce the number 4 the same way you pronounce death. So, okay. The 444 suites. Fox 29, right? Football 29 breaks the news. Here, let's see his name. Jamarcus McFarland. What are the odds, you guys? What are the odds that his name is 118, right? Death and homicide are 118. Elevator's 118. His name's 118? Are you kidding me? His name's also 62, like sacrifice? Again, just another coincidence that we can see in 2 seconds. Just another big old coincidence. I've talked about 118 and death a million times, including calling Prince's death dead on before it happened by the number, and then he dies in an elevator. But yeah, just right away. I don't even need to see anymore. Jamarcus McFarland killed in an elevator? Come on, man. The 444 suites? I'm sure there's a lot more to this, but yeah, Champion Prep Academy. It's probably like same people who run that game are the same ones they made a movie about with Ice-T surviving the game. They go pick up people. Hey, we're going to give you a second chance. Yeah, we're going to take you out to the cabin, man. Nice resort. Wait till we tell you what's going to happen when you get there. Champion Prep Academy 93, man. What day did this news break? Somebody tell me what day this news broke. September 3rd? All this news broke yesterday on September 3rd on 9/3 about the tragic death at Champion Prep Academy. And what have I always taught about 93? 93 is associated with Saturn. For people who are familiar with the Grim Reaper who carries the scythe comes from Saturn. The astrological symbol for Saturn is the scythe. Saturn's related to death and judgment. So, here's a man with a second chance. Somebody must have judged him. Maybe he screwed up again there. Maybe he wasn't following the code. They're like, this poor fucker, his name equals 118. Wait until we stick him down in the elevator. Yeah, you guys, again, all the people that call this work confirmation bias, I'll tell you what all of them have in common. They're fucking retarded. There's no confirmation bias. This is the code that they put in front of our face every day. You take it, it's as simple as ABC, 1, 2, 3, and everything adds up every fucking day, which I've proven for 8 years straight. How's that confirmation bias? It's called nothing but facts. Yeah, this school should be shut down. I can already tell you that much. This murder's on behalf of the school, which is no doubt part of this Jesuit network. Don't forget, Atlanta's Jesuit town as well. That's why the football team down there, Arthur Blank, has the same birthday as the Jesuit order. Same day they were recognized by Rome. He might have died on September 2nd. All the news broke on 9/3, but look, he might have died on September 2nd, just like the other guys. Football 29, right? His football season's kicking off. Yeah, it looks like the social media went out on September 2nd. The national news coverage went out on 9/3 because the school's 93. Yeah. How do you get crushed in an elevator? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave it there. You guys want to learn more about the knowledge, how the games are rigged? We'll be decoding football all season, college and pro. $5 a month on the Patreon. If we could get the kind of support that we deserve, you guys got endless money to pay these evil corporations for their junk food, their cable television where they make you watch commercials. You guys got endless money for that, but you got $5 a month for the truth. Again, if there was as many people out there that supported this work as there should, this stuff would be stopping because we'd be getting out the word in a big way. It takes money to make things happen. And again, I'm up against major censorship. Look how many people are on here, you guys. You ever seen this channel have less than 1,000 people in a live stream? It hasn't really happened until recently. I'm under more censorship than I've ever been in before. Like, no one's getting any notifications. They are making sure the word is not getting out. You're looking at one of the only threats in the world to the tyranny. Because who else in the world figured out how they operate every day with proof and evidence? So anyway, we'll leave it there, you guys. Remember, be sure to subscribe to Gematria Effect News, where we put out the majority of the content, as well as Gematria Effect Sports. And got the website too, GematriaEffectNews. You can get the ebooks there, access to the physical book as well. Again, this is information you want to know. Real knowledge to help you see through the real tyranny, the real lies, the real terrorists, the Jesuit cabal. All right, we'll leave it there, you guys. And